Forest industry is fairly unique in the way that there's many different hazards and barriers to overcome. Everything's changing from weather to equipment to your sites, very remote sometimes. 911 can't be part of your ERP plan because it doesn't work out there. You need to have a helicopter or your own mode of transportation to get out of there. So you need to have ERPs that work and you have to test them. You guys, so we got some pretty good weather here today. We've been talking about doing an ERP drill. So we're going to bring in a helicopter, do 2 scenarios. We're going to do an injured worker off in the bush. We'll assess them, pack them out, land the helicopter and load them into the chopper and fly them away. Second scenario will be a long line, so a critically injured patient.
This is something that you're going to have to be doing more often, at least yearly. It's now going to be a WorkSafe requirement that you have to do a full drill and document it every year. Not necessarily a helicopter drill, but this is a good scenario to do.
Okay guys, this is going to be a drill. We don't want any injuries during it. We need to be safe. If you guys see anything that's unsafe or feel unsafe, voice your opinion and we'll make it safe for you guys to do this.
We want to make sure that we've got the hazards assessed, and then just make sure everybody's got the PPE, cork boots if you're going to be walking off the road, and eye protection if we're going to be around helicopters. And then if we're packing somebody on the basket stretcher as well, so slip, trips, and falls, potential back injuries. So I want to make sure we have enough people packing the stretcher, right?
Are you guys all familiar with ERP? And you know all the channels, frequencies, who you're going to call, when you're going to call them. And everybody knows that they have an ERP card in their pickups and machines, so you can always refer to that card. Okay guys, we'll get right into the drill. Communication will be a big part of it. There's a lot more than just packing a guy to the road. You got to make phone calls. We don't have service where we're at, so it'll either be radio, sat phone, some kind of communication to the helicopter hangar or our office to get a hold of them.
You always have to have a plan B. You could be relying on a helicopter, but that day it's foggy. Look at your plan, because as the block changes, egress points might be different. So now, how are you going to deal with that?
Okay, welcome everybody. I'm Benny, the pilot of this machine. As a general rule, when you approach the helicopter, always make sure it's going to be from the front. In some cases from the side. Always wait for the pilot to give you a sign, usually a thumbs up or just like a head nod that everything's good. You can approach the machine. Never walk around the tail of the machine. That's the danger zone back there.
Then actually having the helicopter come in and land, I think it helped people understand the hazard of the helicopter as well. And what was also great was listening to the first aid attendants talking about different scenarios.
So when someone, like a company or an individual, signs up with Team Aeromedical, we send them an 8-line Medivac request form, and then all the questions are there that we're going to ask, so you can kind of plan ahead when we're asking those questions. Location of patient, hopefully GPS coordinates, and some kind of a geographical location, what the mechanism of injury is, what the injury might be, or the illness. Weight of the patient is important for us. We're looking for hazards, so are there other aircraft working in the area? Are there drones? Are you guys blasting? Are there cables? Looking for what you're marking the job site with, and things like that.
Okay, well, thanks guys for listening to this safety briefing. Let's get started.
In our first drill today, we will package up a patient off in the bush and we'll pack them out to the road where we can lift them into the helicopter and get them to a hospital. Evan will be leading it, the first aid attendant. I'll be kind of in the background, just overseeing so that I can maybe tweak the ERP plan to be better.
Bringing a guy down in a stretcher from a setting, some of the ground out there is very dangerous. Just bringing someone down there with an injury, you could worsen the injury pretty easily if you're not careful.
I'm just going to show you real quick. You have to undo the straps here and have to use the spine board and put it onto my stretcher that I have in here. Feet in the front, head in the back.
It was great practice for everybody to see that type of helicopter and how the spine board actually goes into the helicopter. You know, they pack them out in the basket stretcher, but basket stretcher doesn't actually go in the helicopter.
Feet first.
It was good to have that A-star there and then the pilot there to show them how the patient has to get loaded in there.
Hopefully everyone picks up a lot out of this drill. It's a really good learning experience for everybody.
If you practice something, then you'll have more confidence in it and probably go a lot smoother. A drill like this could save someone's life.
Anybody know what longlining is? Class D or longline is external cargo, human external cargo in Transport Canada world. So basically what it is helicopter, a line that's attached to the bottom of the helicopter, and then 2-3 techs on the bottom. So it's normally, we can get into places that the helicopter can't land. For instance, if it's tall timber or it's like slope, someone's really hurt, you can extract quite safely. Ideally, it'd be in your ERP that you are using 49 North, and a Class D is an option with techs and teams involved. So I don't know if you guys saw when we flew in, we did the recce first. Is there any snags, any dead trees? How's the ground? Is it flat? Is it not? You know, what do I need?
But out here, you want to be that inflatable guy at the tire shop so that we can see you easily moving your hands around. If you're not moving, it's hard to see you. So this actually is really important.
Things what we're looking for extract spots are kind of like holes. So enough that we can put someone in. Any picture you'll see is 100 by 100 meters or something, 50 by 50. Basically, if you look at the rotor, right, like for visual, roughly that's the sucker hole we want, we call it. That makes our life a lot easier as well. And then we plan the rescue around that. I'll take care of kind of all the packaging. I will probably ask someone to help me, but I will tell you step by step what to do. When we're ready to extract, we're going to ask that everybody who's not involved in it is going to back away. We're going to ask for radio silence, but that doesn't mean if you see something that you think is an issue or a hazard or a safety concern, get on the radio and call whatever it is, no duff, no duff, no duff, abort, abort, abort 3 times. So that everybody can hear. We will stop, we will come back to staging, and we will figure out what the issue is. That is not an issue.
All right, let's take the door off. Yeah, can you put it in the back of the truck?
Team is a non-profit wilderness air ambulance service that allows us to put paramedics, nurses, doctors, respiratory therapists, and rescue specialists together to be able to access people in remote settings. Doesn't matter what type of terrain, it can be a glacier or a logging block like this. We can provide that level of critical care, advanced care medicine, and then transport direct to the most appropriate hospital.
All right, do you hear me good?
5 by 5.
5 by 5. Okay, very good, thank you.
Okay, we're near the canopy. We can just go for a little circuit.
Our second drill was a Class D long line.
Okay, we're at canopy height. We're just coming into the canopy here.
And we did that because the injured worker could not be moved from where he was injured at.
Yeah, maybe in between the guy waving his hand and the two guys standing there, yellow and orange.
Okay, copy.
Can start descending, that's a good line. Yeah, just put it straight down there.
My name's Miles. Who's the first aid attendant?
I'm a first aid attendant. We have a worker that got hit in the head.
Has he woken up at all?
No.
No. Okay. Anyone else get hurt?
Nope.
Just gonna do a quick set of vitals and then let's get the vacuum spine.
In this particular scenario, somebody could have got injured carrying the patient out, and we were able to long line them out, which looks more dangerous, but is actually significantly less likely to end up with somebody injured.
1, 2, 3.
So it's great to see workers understand the difference between having to carry somebody out of the bush or us being able to use the long line system and the helicopter to do it safely.
1, slow.
I absolutely believe that emergency response drills are potentially life-saving.
Hey, we're about 5 minutes out.
If I can look back on all of the scenarios that I've been involved with, the most effective scenarios have always been the ones that people have planned ahead of time. They've trained and they've drilled and they've got things dialed before the bad event actually happens.
That's a good line, straight down to us like that. Perfect. Around 10, 9, 5, hold. We're connected.
Okay, coming up, yeah?
Yeah, nice and full lead. All right, Benny, we're out of the canopy and ready for forest flight.
Okay, thank you.
So that was pretty exciting. We're finished the drills for today. I think everything went pretty smooth. Just kind of wondering, looking for some feedback on what you guys thought our strengths and weaknesses were, what we could do better.
Today, when we loaded the patient into the helicopter for real, I was at the feet, and so positioning the feet end into the helicopter was quite awkward, as you kind of had to step out of the way at the same time.
Could you have gone with less or probably more?
I can only imagine if the patient was much bigger, we would definitely need more people, especially inside the helicopter, to help bring the basket or the stretcher in place.
8 guys is a good number because it spells off 4 and 4. So as you get fatigued, then the next group can take over and so on and so forth.
How about the long line extraction? I'm sure everybody learned a bit about what needs to be done, what equipment we need.
It was interesting to see how they've actually replaced the basket and the spine board with the vacuum bag spine board and a sack now. Storage space for one, it takes a fraction. It rolls up into a tiny little potato sack sized bag instead of taking up half of a back of a pickup truck now. And even the vacuum bag, how it actually, formed to the body instead of just being a rigid board.
A couple of important takeaways, I think. Number one is communication. I heard about communication a lot today. And then number two, just the importance of a drill and picking up these little things that we might not have thought of.
From the outside looking in, while the drill was going on, you guys were packing the patient up and had to move him. And I seen one guy stumble, took a trip on a stump behind him. What do you guys think we could do better?
We have to be more aware of how we're setting up the stretcher and make sure it's positioned in the right spot there. At that particular time, we had the bag turned opposite from where the patient was.
Maybe that's where that extra guys come in Someone could have been spotting that person while they're backing up because they can't see.
Yeah, definitely. And definitely a big bonus to have the paramedics on site for that. Excellent.
It takes a lot of stress off the first aiders knowing that there's such a high level of care able to come right into the bush with you.
It's a group. I think, we did a good job getting them prepared and ready to go. But, to have that expertise right on site here, it's gonna, if it's a critical situation, that could mean the difference between life and death.
I've been a first aider for almost 7 years and never done a drill this in depth. So it's good to know. It's good, what can happen, It's nice to see I have a little bit of foresight going into something.
Helps to close the loop on the ERP.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, definitely more prepared and comfortable.
I think one of the most important things that the guys took away from this today is just how much it takes to set that ERP in motion and how hard it is to deal with an issue like that. Not many people get to do what we did today. It was pretty special. It gives you peace of mind for sure.
An ERP should actually be like what we did today. And it's a physical hands-on. Go through the ERP, go through the actual motions, get your equipment out so that you can find these areas where maybe your ERP is lacking and not having to find that out in a panic when somebody's hurt and people are running around trying to figure out, what do I do now? There's just so many learnings you get out of an actual hands-on drill as we saw today, and you know that the crews are prepared if something does happen.
When you have a team of guys out in the woods, a good ERP could mean the difference between life and death.